Okay, guys, markets are fucking insane right now. Shit is crazy, guys. So let's get into this. Let's see what we're looking at. Let's see what the fuck we can learn, what the fuck we can do, and how the fuck we can keep ourselves protected in a market like this and such opportunity and such volatility. This stuff's crazy, man. This stuff's really, really crazy. This stuff's really, really concerning. Um, and we just have to play this stuff intelligently, okay? So every play in their mom right now is deciding to go up 100% for no reason. Okay? So, how do we stay, how do we trade these with the good risk idea, you know? Like, um, on the 1 minute chart, let's just look at what we're looking at here. We go 12%, 57%, now 16%, now 32%. You get 5%, 8%, and then down 12, down 7, down 14. So if you had bought at 8-7 thinking that you're going to break out again, you just lost 12%, 7%, 14% of your entire play unless you had really, really tight risk management, okay? So really what I'm thinking right now is you want to be super considerate of retest of highs, and you want to be super considerate of longevity in these plays. Like all these plays here are just super fucking weird, man. Just super fucking weird shit. Like this play right here, CIIT. So in the morning, 4 a.m., going 13%, 72%, 12%, 41% negative, 19% pickup, 53%. So from here, even buying here, you're still risking around 1.6, 1.8. Okay, so about 1.8 or so. Entry at 2.2. Like, do you really want a fucking 19% risk? But 19% risk to if you don't risk it, you're missing out on 266%. Okay, so maybe what we can do and start thinking about is lowering our share, lowering our account value, like our position sizes, and having to widen our risk a little bit, and thinking about these ideas here of this break here, get this idea here, and the same ideas of push, retest, fill in with volume, compress, pick a direction with volume. And then now, not only with volume, but think about this on the 1 minute, okay? 115,000 shares to open. 1.27 million. So we're trading about 10% every minute. 10%. Now that's about 20%. Now it's about 17%. Now it's about 10%. Now it's about 5%. Okay, now reconfirm with 10%. Okay, now about 20%. Okay, now break out again, 30% on 30%. Okay, push back down, negative 16% on about 22%. Okay, flatten out, 95, so 10%. Okay, flatten out again, another 7%. And that's not talking float right here. Okay, so we get this flattened back down to here, 94%. 10%, another 8%, and now this right here, 32% for 22%, 33% float rotated for 22% price gain. We go here to a 227, so another 22%, and then something like this, man. Like, and I think I can't remember exactly. I didn't trade this. I should have traded this. I got into it a little bit late. I saw it a little bit late, but these ideas of DSY here or VSME here, the same idea. So this company is still a $2.2 million company and a 2.7 million float. Okay, so our first couple minutes here is going to look like this. We're going to go with 10% for 5K, so which is really nothing at all. Okay, but 5K from 1500. Now 35K for what do you call it? This is on the 1 minute. 35K for 7%. So 35K is what percentage of 2.7 million? 2.7 million, 270K is going to be your 10%. Now we get 10% for 25K, okay? 35K, so we 10x our volume, give us 10%, give us 25% price gain. Okay, our next candle goes to, we increase our volume to 328,000 volume, give us 9%, and kind of test our low a little, our high a little bit from here. Our next candle goes another 395,000. So we go from 35 to 255 to 328 to 395. Okay, so this is 10%. Now these are a little bit higher than 10%. Now 300K, 300K, another 240K. Okay. Now response to this would be give us 198K, another 200K. So about almost 10% again. Okay. So 10% every minute seems to be viable, especially as you get in this idea of you pushing through here. So you give this 13%, slowly losing your volume back down, and then boom, push hard with 73K. Okay, and now you get your confirmation of 10%. Now, still from here, you buy in at the top at 174, you're going to be risking 156, okay? 156 to break 190, okay? And now we get that break of 190. From here, everyone's going to be risking this idea of 190 to break from 2-1 or something. We get that break, and now the same idea. We're risking 2-1 to break from 2-4. We get that break. Everyone's going to have to be changing the risk idea. So this gets fucking insane. So break, 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 push down, and see, as we're increasing our volume as well, like we get this increase, and now we get this settlement, but still trading about 10%, still rotating pretty fucking efficiently. And when we do break, we're giving people tons of money, 10%, 10%, 14%, okay? 5%, 3% drawdown, another 3% push up, and then 12%. This is happening so fucking fast, guys. Insanely fucking fast movements. Like even from here, like we go 8%, 4%, and then 13%, okay? And now you're at these positions to where you're thinking to yourself, where and how should I trade this stuff, right? How should I trade this to make sure I'm still in a protected position? It's very difficult if you're not careful, because you can just lose your money very quickly. You could see this, you're like, oh, okay, we got our volume confirmation, or we got a spike in volume. We got to push from here, and then you just completely dip off. Boom, immediately negative 27%, and then just hasn't done anything since. Negative 27% will blow up your fucking account. Okay, I'm telling you, it will ruin your account. This stuff will ruin your account. So we need to find a system that's going to enable us to navigate these waters very accurately and very intelligently, you know? And the whole idea of looking for news, you know, news should be one of the biggest things you're looking for every single stock. And no news, no news, no news, no news. I'm looking for news for today, all right? No news. So none of the top 5, top 10 have news, okay? So you necessarily don't even have to trade this. Look at CLDP, no news. This one right here, this had a little bit of news, but they sold some of their trades. Okay, this one had news 2 days ago for a merger. This one has no news for today, but it was up from earlier. FAD eliminates $21 million worth of debt, and now we're looking at something like this. Okay, and then this hard push on the 15-second chart. Let's look at the 1-minute chart. We go 12%, 11%, 8%. 10%, 10%, 10%, clear out 13%, and now 26%. From 26%, what are people going to do? What are people thinking about? 12 million shares, okay? And we're only trading about, okay, that's almost about 10% on the 1 minute, okay? But we were trading around less than 10%, praying about 1% on the 1 minute, okay? Let's keep this in mind and keep this stuff in mind, guys. So this stuff is going to be very, very... you're gonna get a lot of shiny object syndrome for sure. You're gonna really think every single thing is gonna be destined to move, and these things do move. But the problem is, it's like, are you really calculating risk and calculating these ideas? I think it's more important than ever to really start saying out loud what the fuck you're looking at. Okay, so we get a push, we get a sell back down. Okay, volume still staying a little bit elevated. Now we get our push back with volume. Now we get a retest. Push back down, confirm with volume. Now we have safe enough risk. We're kind of rotating in. We kind of sell through. Push back up with volume, come in, compress, sell back down to our previous high, push down, losing volume. Now you get your step up, okay, lose back down. Now you get your step up again, looking to break this 3-3 range, 3-2 range. You get that break, pushing with volume, selling back down a little bit, but staying high towards your previous high. Push back up, press your previous high, and now push back hard from here, breaking 4-3 or 3-8, 4-2, and now volume stepping in, but it's still kind of flowing around. And then like these ideas of like where is it going to stop? Where's the end? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is the end? After you're up a certain point, and then after you come up and you break this high, now you push down, retest your low with less volume. You get this push as well, and then that just takes everyone out. Anyone who bought on top of that or bought with that. So, like, where are you buying is going to be one of the biggest questions ever. It's like, where is the most optimal places to buy? We're going to have to go back and look at every one of these trades and every single one of these fucking charts and really look at ourselves and say, okay, where am I buying? Okay? Like, what makes the most sense? DSY, where would DSY have made sense? Okay, the idea is like you might not even be able to trade the 1 minute just because the 1 minute is just so fucking fast and so hard. Like honestly, break of here is a good idea. Okay, 4-6 risking 4-3. Okay, to get to 10 or get to something with the idea of like 49%, 27%. I remember this is how this thing started: 18%, 1%, and then 27%, and then 49%. And then immediately, so from here, you don't even get to retest 3.0. You stay up at 3.55, and then from here, you just break hard. So now you're thinking about your break of 4.6. You get that, okay? Now you're thinking about your break of 6.4, retest of 4.95, and you get the break of 6.4, and then people buy into that. Okay, now you're thinking about your break of 8.49. You don't really get that or a hold, and now you settle back down. So you settle back down, okay? And now you push down with your candle, okay? Push down with this candle. Okay, so don't really get to retest, even kind of retesting this high from here. You get a green, which is less volume than you had from the previous push from here. Okay, so it's going to have you compress and then sell back down again. And when you're selling back down, so even testing your low here, and now we're thinking about testing this low. Okay, we tested it and made a new one. Now we're thinking about testing this low. We push past it, think about testing this low, and then we fucking smash that shit. Let's see if we can want to buy into this place. And then, like, what is your risk here, dude? You know what I'm saying? What is your risk? The top of this candle closes at 765. This is a 35% 1 minute fucking candle, dude. 35% in 1 fucking minute. This one here is 16% in 1 minute. So even if you buy at the top of this, is your risk really going to be 493? You're going to risk 16% on every single trade you take? And then what does this even offer? When this goes up, it barely even goes to a you don't even really get anything from the top of this 35. You get about 14% is there actually, but there's just so much risk involved to these plays right now. So I advise everyone to be as careful as they possibly can with the amount of risk we're seeing. FLD, like the one we were just looking at, like coming up here, 35%, 26.35, and then accepting with volume, pushing back up to 1.4 million, and then coming in with 1.2 million. Okay, so we can still see this thing rip. We're going about now about 10% every minute. But on the 5-second chart, like, that's why margin account is going to be huge for you guys, because they took away that PTD rule, so no one has to worry about margin account. So everyone's just kind of just pushing their risk wherever they fucking want it, you know? It's just weird stuff we're looking at. And again, what would have been the best time to buy this thing, right? And here's your idea, I guess, for every one of these plays is the idea that you get this spike, right? So now everyone in the market knows that you want to move. You're a relatively small company, and you know no one really gives a fuck about news anymore, or at least currently. And then after you get this spike of 12%, 11%, 8%, you push back down really, really hard, and now you can't have any levels to sell into. Okay, you kind of compress, and now you push from here. Okay, from here you still have risk of 74. Do you still want to risk 13%? Or understand that if you go to push past this 90 level, you could break past the 90 level. We do break past the 90 level. And now from here, what are we thinking of? What ideas are in our head of what we're thinking about? Okay, so retest of highs and then a test of our new lows. And then we want increasing volume on the buy. Okay, so our best entry would have been something like 7.7 above here, right? That would have been your best entry all day. So we want to look at these plays. We want to see where our best entry is. And we want to make sure that when we're playing for the next play, we get something that looks exactly like this. Let's take a screenshot of this shit, if it will let us. We need something like this. You know what I'm saying? And this right here, 165K, that's only 1% on the 1 minute. But you're still right at your low, 1% for 13%. Okay, so but you're still rotating. So in 100 minutes, you should trade your entire float. Right now we've done a 12 million volume, okay, so that's very interesting. So our volume's staying up, and now we're looking to break from here. So risk at 163 wouldn't be the dumbest thing in the world, though. Who is in here with us, and what reason are we up so much money besides purely just volume trading? Okay, besides shorts getting traded. Okay, so this actually did have news. Eliminated 20 million of its debt, and we could probably see this thing fucking skyrocket or rip for later in the sessions. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, though. We're coming in with more volume. So is this a setup that we've seen in the past? Is this something that we have in our ideas? So like, look at this. This thins out, and then you go from 5K to 28K, 26K, 31K, okay, 43K, 64K, okay, 205, 337, 486. Like eventually you slowly get to a point where you just can't trade more volume in a reasonable fashion, and you're gonna have to go back down, okay? And so we're going to be understanding this and checking this stuff a lot, man. This is going to be really like your bread and butter. So now this is the ideas here. When you're pushing back down towards your new lows, what are we really looking at, you know? What are we really checking out here? We're checking out this level here, but like, are we coming back in with more volume? Do we have a confirmation to push back with more volume? And even VSME, something like this, when we're pushing in, we still get this idea of you get a big spike, you get this clear out, and then your volume sells down, and now you get that difference. You go from 73K, 72K to 179. So at least you double your volume from this position, and you had your clear out, okay? Like, that's what leads to something like this. And then from here, Even a buy here, you have all these ideas of pushing in, compressing, and now you have your directional push, and now you have 217 as a risk. 217 gets compressed into, okay, and now we push up from here. Now you have the idea of 234 as a risk, okay? So really, really, really keeping your wrist tight is going to be the best thing to do for these plays. And then just really still gonna push, push, push. And then like look how there's like really no retesting, you know, like we're not gonna retest every one of these candles. And if you do retest every one of these candles, it's probably not gonna be the best thing. Like how do we see this picture as selling at, how do we see this picture to sell at the top, right? Like this is gonna be the game of trading, like learning how to figure out how to trade this stuff all the way to the top, and buying even here and then holding to the top. Like what from here is telling me to stay in the play. Okay, we have massive increase of volume. We're breaking our previous level. We just had a clear out. Okay, we're pushing in. We're rotating very hard. We're rotating about 179, 400k. We're increasing our volume, so 400k is about 10 to 20% of our float every minute. Okay, so we're very, very, very liquid, very, very rotational, and then we're pushing, 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 pushing again. And then remember, when we're making these new highs, when we go to push again, we're holding like 90% of your high value, 90% of your high value. This one sticks back down from here. This is your first crack in the armor, but it still holds over your previous retest and then kicks back up with this more volume. Like look how we do volume, volume, volume. So we go 609, 700k, and then 362k, and now to 617k. Okay, so 300k to 600k. Now you get your double. Now you get your compressor. Now you have a level at 273 you can risk off of. Now you get your directionality. Now you can understand for a buy in a 3.0 to break the 3.2, even risking 3.0. And now you get that break from here for 21%. You get that thin out, and you never really take away any of your gains. You take away maybe 4% of the 20%. So you maybe hold about 50%. You thin out all your volume, and now you get your directionality. You do the same thing. You kind of, and then you actually take away your gains, retest your high, push back up, and then now you have to sell back down because you don't have that same volume that you needed. Pushing back down. Now you have your volume strip out. You can buy here. Okay. Now push, push, break your previous high, sell here. Okay. These are your ideas, right? Now it helps a lot to say this stuff out loud as it's happening. And then look at this, you know what I'm saying? Like that buy at the top makes no fucking sense at all. You have no fucking reason to buy that shit, you know? There's no fucking reason at all to buy any of that shit. Like and then GCTD, this idea as well. Like if you want to capitalize on these plays that are moving 100+% every fucking 10 minutes, then you really, especially with no news or no real like reasoning, then you really have to be sharp in your execution, your entry, and then your patience as well. Like on the 1 minute, let's see what we get here. We get a 24% on 3K volume. 3K volume. So we have 4 million shares to trade through. We only trade 3K for what do you call it? So that's going to be like your ignition. That's going to be something everyone's looking at, okay? Now you push back up to 90 on 24,000 volume, okay? So still only trading like a quarter of 1%. Push back up with even more volume, 85k. So you quadruple your volume and give yourself 13% more, okay? So is that a bullish sign? It probably is, okay? So you quadrupled your volume and you moved up. Okay, now 308k for 10%. Now you go from 85k to 308k. Now you almost quadruple your volume basically again. And now you sell back down to this previous high with 320k volume. So about matched your volume. Now you push back down and compress to 188k. So we leveled out. Now we're pretty much at a level where we wanted to be before. We tested at 86, even at entry. So where does this close? Entry close at 93, retest at 86, risk at 86. Okay, people love that. And now we're looking for the break of 1 o'clock. Okay, so break at 1 o'clock. And the reason 1 o'clock looks like a good break is because when we came back in from after compressing 2.6%, we gained 16% and traded about 10% of our float in that candle in 1 minute. Okay, 10% in 1 minute is going to be this big key idea. And then a clear out and a continuation push, right? And this right here is 16%. This right here is 26%, okay? And then we push back up and we held our high about 137. 137, people are going to want to test against that immediately. And then we go into 39% of 1.2 million, okay? So we go from 300K, so 10% float, now 20%. Actually, no, is that 10%? Yeah, 10%. And now about 20%, now to about 40% of your volume, the 30% of your float rotating in 1 minute. Okay, from there, now we have to trade more volume than this to move up. And we do that. We get a little break, and now 1.2 million, about the same volume actually for 16%. Come down to retest your previous low, your previous high, and you hold most of your gains from this value that you made. You get this volume at 1.12. You get this volume at fuck, dude. 700, so we go from 1.2 to 700k, so you lose your volume in your sell, and you compress really hard, and then you get your directionality to break 2.3. So risk at 2.0, breaking 2.3. You get that right from there with the hard 1.9 million volume. What do we do from here, right? So from here, people actually wanted to buy. They immediately bought this at 1.5. So you get that break, and you're just seeing these people just not giving two fucking shits about anything. And anyone who bought at the top here at this break, or even buying here, so for any buy in this range, it just loses you money, okay? And this is very important to understand, because what is so different about this setup and this setup, right? These are almost the same thing, but actually they're not. Here's the difference. You lost 15% in one candle. This one didn't lose and close 15%, only lost 5% in one candle. This one didn't either, only lost 10% in one candle, okay? And this is way earlier in the play, this is way later in the play, okay? Here you've traded 1.1, 1.2 every time, but you held your entire high of this candle. This candle got broken through completely, okay? And you're losing your volume, and you never come back with that directional volume, right? Like this comes in, and now here's your directionality, now you can push, and now you can sell, okay? These are your ideas here for what you're looking at. Now FOD, so what we're looking for is a volume discrepancy, okay, still, and then a price discrepancy as well. So we're going to have to be very, very careful trading this stuff, because this stuff, there's no fucking reason for any of this stuff to be up right now besides pure fucking momentum trading, okay? This is pure momentum trading. Now look, this idea here. So you make this low right here, you create this new low, push down, push down, push down, losing volume, losing volume. Now try to break past this low. You do break past this low. Let's see if we hold our high. Never make a lower low. Now we break past this at 7.4. Okay, now people are buying here. Boom, boom, 283, and then 181. But do we buy here? Do we really care that much about this play right here? Is this going to go to a way higher position? It doesn't quite, you don't quite need it to, but if you want to make accurate, continuous plays without blowing up your account, without losing risk, like from here, 869, are we going back to 11 to break 11? Or are we just going to fade back down to 7, 8, and how do we tell this with the volume that we're currently looking at with the ideas that we had before? So if we look here, what we wanted before was an idea like 18%, 1%, and now you get 27, and then 49%, and then you get that breakdown to 16%, holding a good amount of your highs, now looking to break again, and now coming in with more volume, okay? Now selling, retest your high, now come with more volume, now come with more volume, now retest, and now retest again, now sell back down and break your previous highs, now retest, sell back down and break your previous high, now sell back down and break your previous high, and now pushing back up actually from here, break that low. Now you get your directionality with this volume, but from this volume, do people buy on top immediately? Not fucking really. They kind of do a little bit. You get 14% from that idea, but then it pushes down to a riskier, a level that you can kind of appreciate. And as you get higher and more congested, these plays get more logical. And the idea that, like, why are you moving 50% in 1 minute, bro? You know, on 488k volume, which is actually ends up being 50% of your float. So this thing actually trades 50% of its float almost every single fucking minute to get to 10, okay? So this is very important. These ideas are very important. Now we're trading about 30% of our float to move less percentage, okay? So let's see how these things want to move out in the long term, and we really have to gain a good amount of general knowledge about what we're fucking looking at, because this stuff's sickening, you know? There's no reason for any one of these trades to be up. None of these companies have done fucking dog shit. The only reason any of these companies are moving up is because they're small companies and they're easily manipulatable, okay? We have to fucking remember this. We have to remember this. We have to be very, very solid with our entries, okay? You can buy anything all willy fucking nilly, but if you don't have a clear, concrete idea, and if you don't have consistency with the win rate, then you're just going to lose all your money, bro, for real. I would recommend in a market like this to really lower your position size and get really good at being selective with your trades. Be very selective, okay? Even spend a whole, like, just be very, very selective with your trades and what you're looking at, and even stick to bigger time frames. You know, it's like we don't need to be on these super tiny time frames. These time frames, like, but I mean, honestly though, like for QH, you would have like 57% in 1 minute. You don't have any time, and then now it's down 16%, and now 32% on 192k. And the difference between this and now we're trading about 87k, so 10% from 57%, down 16% on about 40% of your volume, or 30% of your volume, and now pushing back up 32 on another 30% of your volume. And then from here, we still trade heavy volume, but we can't push it from there. And we push back down, looking to break from our previous low, looking to break here at 4.7. Okay, so we're always looking at the idea: you're gonna make a new high or you're gonna make a new low. Okay, these are the two ideas: new high or a new low. And where are we in this place? Okay, so now right here, are we going to be looking to make a new low past 92, or are we going to make a new high past 117? Okay, this is going to be our idea every time. Okay, CLIT, and we can do this for every single trade, right? Are we looking to make a new low below technically 306, or a new high past 33? Okay, and what is volume showing us? Volume is showing us we thinned out very well, and now we're pushing back at 16%, but we'll also have all this weight above us and all these previous levels above us. Okay, so we're going to keep that in mind as we move through, and we can go to a bigger time frame for these things as well and give ourselves more time. But think about it, like if we buy here and we still don't have a big volume discrepancy yet. I mean, the candle's still young, but we still don't have a big volume discrepancy yet. So we're really going to want to keep this stuff in mind. So we go from 17K, yeah, 20K on 10%, and then now from here from 3.3. I mean, this isn't the dumbest idea in the world, but let's take a look at what this looked like from the beginning, like CIIT. Like, really, let's look at this thing and analyze it. So out of nowhere, we go 13% on 7.2, and then really what your candle was this. This is your play right here. We go 72% in 1 minute on 10% of your float, and then another 12% on 20% of your float. Lose all of that. Like, dude, imagine you bought at fucking the top of 221. You know, like at the top of the breakout, you're like, oh, we traded more volume, and then we held our thing, and we're on the 1 minute, and then just diabolical, just decimation. So if you didn't hold there, I mean, obviously you would have made money in the long run, but then who says you would have made money in the long run? It depends on where you sell and where you hold. Now we get this push from here. Now that actually ends up being a good spot. So from 29K to 113. Now 113, now are we going to make a new high, or are we going to go try to find a new low? So now, and even on the 5-second chart, what does this thing look like? It just looks like it's grinding in, slowly grinding in. And how much money is it going to give you, and who's making money underneath you? Who's underneath you and who's rotating in, and what is their reason for rotating in? Besides the fact that this thing cleared out, why did people rotate in here and not here, right? What are they doing buying here, but they didn't buy here? Like, this makes no sense, okay? So this is where your edge is going to be. When everyone buys here, you have to be understanding to buy here, okay? This is very important. This is very, very important stuff. Like, you don't want to buy into the breakout. You want to be in the areas before the breakout, right? You want to be in this area, this area right here, right? Right here before the breakout. Right here before the breakout, right? Right here before the breakout. Even, this is not the greatest area. Right here before the breakout. Like, these ideas, like these breakouts, even like post breakout is also, I mean, it's there for you as well. So it's like, I just think that I need to find a way to be more disciplined in these ideas, because everything right now seems like a buy when it isn't. When we all know inherently every one of these companies is going to be at pretty much where they started the day at the end of the day, okay? Like every one of these companies that has no news and has no reason to be up at all, they're probably going to open back up at the fucking, literally exactly where they started from, okay? Keep all these ideas in mind. Like, look at these fucking plays. Like you have no time to get in with any clear idea of risk, and no time to get out. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're like, okay, we get to here, now we're gonna retest our high, but we lost your entire volume, 1.4 million out of 12 million, and then now you're just dead. And on the 15-second chart, like, it's just disgusting. Okay, so let's keep this stuff in mind, and let's just stay disciplined and stay respectful of what we're looking at on every front. Okay, so now we're risking against this previous low, but like, why are we even up? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are really good questions to be asking every single time you get into these plays and get into these trades. Now from 4.0, so we're looking to actually trade 176,000 volume for 9%. Okay, now you're risking what? You're risking to break the 4.0. You need to trade more volume, and you're going to risk it literally against 3.9. Okay, so you'll see 3.9 get touched through, and even this one getting touched through, pushing down. We could still see pushes from here, and then 3.6 would be like your ultimate like loss right there. So even a buy now, risking 3.6, you're risking a lot of money though. That's still 10% risk, That's why I say have a smaller account and then just really position yourself well. Like, let's see the difference between something like that, and then when we push into here, we get this retest here, and then we get this fill in with volume, and then we get this confirmation, okay? And now we get that compression, and now we get this confirmation. Could we push back down to retest our previous high, push back down, You create a low, push past that low, try to create a new low, can't create a new low, coming in with the same amount of volume and more volume. It's still 74K every minute out of 1.27 million volume. It's still about almost 10%, a little bit lower than 10%. Now you get your push, and now you get your push, and now you're done. And now the play's done. Okay? Very important to understand this stuff. Like, this is happening very fucking fast, guys. Insanely fast. So, just be okay and be understanding that you're going to miss a lot of these plays, okay? Just, find a system that's going to work in a consistent manner, because consistency is the only thing that's going to beat all this shit. Your consistency is going to be the only thing that's going to win. I'm telling you right now. It's going to be the only thing that makes any sense. Okay? We are 12 million GLE, like, making a new low, pushing against towards this previous high. We don't have any big volume differentials, any real reason to be into this play, any real reason to be excited. We have these volume differentials, this GCDT, and now we have an idea like this. We just thinned out our volume. We just pushed up again. But like, why do people even care about this stuff? You know, why is this right here one of the best places you could have been entered into? Okay, and you get your confirmation. Or is it only a good place because of what happens after, because of every one of these reactions, you know? And why do some companies, why is this one going to push to 26%, and then this one also pushes another 26%, but doesn't continue from there, right? Why do we stop at these certain levels that we're stopping at? And what volume levels are we getting to be too much volume, you know? And how much volume do we need to ignite from these places, right? And how much percentage gain do we need to ignite? And how much percentage gain do we need to hold, right? And then how much rotation in do we need? You're 16% for 300K, so 10% for 16%. So we're still trading in pretty close values to this idea. These are these ideas you're going to be thinking about, and we're going to have to find a way to develop a system to be consistently safe in these markets, okay? I really need you guys to be safe. I need you guys to be very disciplined with what you're looking at, okay? Every single thing is going to be like a shiny object, but just because it's a shiny object, you know, doesn't mean you can't fucking make mistakes and just lose a good amount of your money. So you just be very patient, be very careful, be very cautious, and be very disciplined with everything you're looking at and everything you're seeing. Say out loud exactly what you're looking at. Say out loud exactly what problems there could be with your stock, what could be with your position, and then just test against every one of your theories. Test every single one of your theories every single time, okay? And then, but be there for the play, okay? Be there. Don't be scared of it. Just understand what needs to happen. Now we're looking for a breakup here. We're trading 11K on 7K. Now we got 500K float, so we actually want to trade about 50K for 10%. We're getting 50K, 28K, so we get about 5% right there. So we're not trading as much volume as the other ones that actually moved, okay? Find out which ones move. Data track the fucking shit out of them, and then look for those as they continue the other way, okay? For this one, we know we're trading a little bit too little volume, but 9% on right there, and this could be fucking something to be worthwhile looking at. Now you have risk at 5.7, okay? 48.10. But then again, we're still not trading maybe as much volume as we need to. This buy now, what is bad about it? Trying to break past here. Push back with volume. Now you're filling in with volume. Now you're trading at 24K. Now you have risk at 5.8. Oh, we missed that. Okay. Even buying on top now is an idea. Now 50K. Okay, now we're going to wait for a retest, or we're going to try to break past this immediately. Okay, let's see if we get a retest to see how much volume we dip from here. How much volume and price we dip. None at all. Oh, a little bit. Okay, buy 7 shares. Let's see, retest it here. Volume selling. So you want to make a new low or a new high? Oh my god, what are we doing? Now, where are we looking to sell, right? 840. Now 85K. Now we're increasing our volume. We're looking to make a new high or a new low. Okay, now we can't do anything with this new high we just made. Compressing very, very hard. Let's see how compression works on the 15 second. We got another 40K volume. Now, risking previously from this previous low. See if we can make a new low. Or if we make a new high, right? We get this volume stepping back in. People are pushing it back up. Shorts are getting in right now. 755, 750, 760, pushing to a new low, risking right here. Gonna sell that now. Get out of your position just because United's going down. So you're gonna lose money on that right now, right? So buying this top of this breakout ended up not being the smartest thing in the world. Maybe just for now, maybe we should have waited for this retest of 635. This makes a lot more sense, okay? This retest of 635 could make a lot of sense for us in the future, especially as we didn't really attack this with forward momentum, right? Um, yeah, and you see that live in the flesh. Like, people are gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes. That's what I'm saying. Start with this margin account with a very, very small account, okay? And we're looking to see how we want to test and how we want to push from these ideas. And knowing that we're up in these positions and these prices for no reason at all, we got to think to ourselves, okay, so once we get past a certain price percentage gain, there's going to be a lot less reasoning to move up. Okay, see, an ideal entry would have been at 508 to sell into at 84. Okay, not an entry at 73, selling at 82. Right? It's like ideas of, okay, we just sold our volume, and now we just push. Like, from here, you have to notice that time's now, and you only have you have 30 to 40 seconds to get out of the play. Okay, you have 30 to like how much time do you have to buy this? Like, is this even going to show up on anyone's radar? You know, maybe not until now. So maybe now we're going to start getting our fill-in volume, but maybe now shorts are going to be very, very heavy, and then so is previous sellers and previous buyers. We could look at it as a re-entry here as we go to break past our previous low. But then again, we could also make a new low here. 36K for 6%. That's actually not the worst volume in the world. But then again, it's like we're not getting like a real movement, a real directionality, a real increase, a real difference in like volume. So we go from 1700K to 9K. So that would show us almost a 5x difference in volume. So we're looking for these differences in volume, okay? And that was just a bad trade by me. And I need to sharpen myself up for what we're doing, and this is going to be a lesson for me to learn right now, right? Only lost like what, a couple percent, but still, like, if you had any, like, I'm trading with a small account right now, so if you had anything bigger, if you had $1,000 account, $2,000 account, like, I would not recommend getting all fucking marginy with these trades at all, because it can be very, very difficult to see a true continuation. And now we have some volume here, now a 2 million float, and now trading on the 1 minute. Let's see what we're looking at. We got about 100K there. Okay, so we're looking for about 200K on the 1 minute for 14%, 10% for 14%. Now we get 5% for 17%. Okay, so that's very, very liquid, but we're still coming from 520. Okay, so from 7. And we get nuclear something. They get an order for their flanges. I don't fucking know if that's even really that great of news. But now we see like, what would have been our best entry. Okay, we clear out, pick a direction, come in with more volume, retest, pick a direction, push up. Now we sell immediately. Now we're looking to see how much we sold comparatively to how much we bought. And yeah, let's see. Like, even let's take a look at WCT. Like, look at WCT. Like, WCT was up 96% and then 64%, and now it's down to here. Like, why the fuck is it down to here? And why the fuck did it go up there if it's not even worth this money, right? Like, it's that same idea of these plays are fucking garbage, bro. I'm telling you, every one of these plays are absolute garbage. So if you're going to play these garbage plays and really want to get that free money, then you better be willing to make some fucking mistakes, and you better be willing to lose all of your money, okay? Because if you make one fucking mistake, you're going to have some really bad fucking risk levels to be playing away from, you know? These motherfuckers do not care, dude. These motherfuckers are buying and selling everything they possibly can, okay? Even FID. Let's see if we can get a test of a new low. We're actually looking to break 1-2. If we can break 1-2 with more volume, that'd be something interesting to look at. Okay, so we really want to put these things into a box. We want to put these things into a box that makes sense. Okay, so now we go from 105 to 46, now to 74K, but we have no increase in price. Okay, so now we're looking to break down past 5.5 is the idea. Let's see what this one does. Back to 1-2. Let's see DSY. Okay, now look at this. This ends up actually being a good play from 857 even down to 818. And why is it a good play? We have risk at 753 from your previous, and then you get your pick of your direction. But will it go higher from here? Is a very good question. You're trading 884K from 25K, so people could jump into this really right now, and this could be very interesting to see people jump into this and give it another 13-20%. From that, what are they going to do? Probably sell from that position. Okay, so we're looking for a continuation with volume. But then again, if we don't get that, we're just going to see if we can create a higher low. If we don't get that higher low, we're going to get a retest of this previous high. It's going to sell down. Okay, so say out loud what you're looking at and say out loud what you're looking at, and say out loud what you want to be seeing. You want to see a break here, 4-1, or a break here, 3-2. Pick one of the directions, okay? I'm not gonna. If you play in the middle, and then if you're in the middle, you want to see loss of all your volume. So like even from here, we're looking at a break of 5-2 or a break of 7-5. And that's a lot of money. And now we get back down to 5-2, and now we get that break of 7-5, right? So once you get that break of 7-5, everyone buys in at 7-5 at the same exact level. So then you slow down, you finally get this break of here. So okay, then we're gonna break down from 7-2, or we're gonna break from 9-0. So from now we're at 9-0, risking 9-0 with an interest of 184k, 267k, and then 1.25 million shares. So, but then again, you had all this action before you, so you have a lot more selling weight than previously. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what these things do in market open, what they do in pre-market, right? Like, and then we'll go back to here. We can see if anything new is popping up, anything in the top 10, anything over 50%, CHNR, NUV, WXE, like QH. You know, this one I was in and made some money on earlier, but like, dude, like, these are all fucking garbage plays. Remember yourself, please remind yourself every 2 seconds, none of these plays mean anything. None of these plays mean anything. These are all fucking terrible plays. Put them in a box. Figure out your levels and then fucking play from those levels, okay? Like this thing to go back to 830 is unlikely unless you hit with volume. Only thing you're looking for is volume. Now, look at this. Compression series. So now you're looking to risk all 583, looking to break at the 616 level. Look towards the break 616. Okay, for break 616, you could probably push back pretty hard. But if you don't do that, then you're going to be pretty fucked. You're going to lose that down to 566, okay? So 566 is your absolute low. And we got to fucking remember these things, guys. We have to remember these things. We have to remember these ideas. Okay? HKIT. Now this one hits. Now this one is up from earlier, though. Okay? So in this idea, we had the same idea. So we had, okay, we are going to push down past 33 or we're going to break 38. Okay? We end up getting our break of 38. Now we can risk 38. But then again, we have a lot of levels before us. 141k on 9 million, so we're not trading our volume like as much as we had from previously, but we may not need to as much if this play isn't working. But then again, if we don't need to, what we want to see is 900k a minute to move this thing at 16%, 17% per minute. Okay, so 900k a minute would make a lot of sense, but if we want to trade 9%, you need to trade 500k a minute, okay, for positive hard continuation. Maybe not exactly, but then again, like that was like just some averages from before. But the big thing you do see from here is 6k to 141k. So this level is pretty stable at 37, looking to break 43. Okay, so either 37 push down to or break a 43. Those are your two ideas, right? We're going to put these into our boxes, and we're just going to keep thinking about these ideas. Okay, keep thinking about these ideas. Okay, we're going to break from 1 o'clock, or we're going to push past 116, right? Same idea. Where you're going to break from 145, or we're going to push back down from 127, and volume's going to tell you everything. Okay, this idea here. And that's at every single level. When you lose volume, you're going to lose price. Okay? Boom. Look at that. We're either going to break from 9 or we're going to push back down to 8. And we don't break from 9. And we compress with 200k volume. Okay? 200k volume is 20% almost of your float. So we go from 25k to 184k to 267k to 266k to 385k to 162k. So see how much volume you have to trade to push past and push higher, right? You really need these ideas, right? So from here, you're either going to push back down past 580 or you're going to break from 6.7. Break from 6.7, okay? You're going to break from 7.5 or you're going to push back down past 6.7. And then volume slowly draining out. So this is what you get these ideas. Now you push up. Okay, now your idea is, okay, break 7.5 or push back down towards 6.5. Okay, we break 7.5 with volume. Now we push back down with our volume. Now we're at an all-time low with our volume. We held very, very hard. We never made a new low. Now we get your direction. Now you get your compression. Now you get your direction again, okay? So what are we going to do from here? We're going to look at 10.79 as an idea, and we're going to look at 9.73 as an idea, okay? And what you need to see, look, 9.73 gets pushed through. Let's see how we react to this. And now we're going to understand as soon as we close, we're going to, these are all the same ideas, right? Yeah, very interesting. And then even from here, like, and this stuff can be hard to grab, you know, from 718 to here. I mean, that's a really good percentage and solid risk, 35%. Risking about 776 in this idea, okay? So just be careful, guys, when you're trading this stuff, because, you know, even if we went from here from 7.5, what's your next level? I mean, you have this level previously, and this push down, and this push up, and this 7. Like, these are your ideas of how this everything works together. Looking to retest your high here, and remember, when you retest your high, you want to thin out with your volume and then come back hard again, okay? And you don't want to lose too much percentage gain either, because that means no one stayed and held and stayed inside the play, right? You want to see people hold these percentage gains. Like, look at this percentage. You put all the way up here and then just lost all of it, right? No one stayed inside that play. No one gave a fuck. All right. just a note to self for everyone who's watching this stuff, everyone who's trading this stuff. I just want you guys to be as careful as possible, and I want you guys to really, really consider these ideas of breaking out with more volume and then having a stable level below you and seeing how people want to react with this stuff, and then see how our rotation works. Like 20 million shares and we're only trading 300K. Like 20 million, what's 10% of 20 million? It's 2 million. Okay, so you want to see 2 million a minute to validate this stuff, and then we're not seeing this 2 million a minute. But let's just see how it actually does move. Okay, so after we push from here, our idea is, okay, break from here with more volume. So even push to here, 19%, but we're not trading probably enough volume as people want to. And remember, you have so many other plays happening at the same time. It's like it can be really hard to distinguish which ones are going to be your breadwinners, right? And look at this. Now we're selling out. And now we push back with 11K. 11K, 1.2 million. That's 1% of your volume. So we're now trading 1% in our lows. At 7.3, we want to look to break 17. Or push back down to a new low. Past 1.6. 21K now. Risk at entry at 1.7, risking 1.6. Previous 5%. WCT has no reason to be up today, guys. Remember this. Alright, guys. Let's keep these ideas in mind. Let's keep these ideas in mind.